If we want to talk about healthy family, healthy marriage, healthy home, healthy relationships, healthy baby, healthy fertility, healthy community, we first must have a healthy understanding of what identity is and a healthy sense of identity of self. This is something that we typically are shown as children. We actually do have a fair sense of what our purpose here is as children, but as our identity gets split off, this is when we experience trauma, for example. This can be through betrayal when we change our last name in marriage. This is also going to alter our identity and our destiny, and more than anything, sometimes this is through self-betrayal, which is going against one's own intuition, and this is very easy to do in a world of peer pressure. When people do not have a strong sense of self and identity, they tend to project their ideas of you, of what you should be doing with your life, onto you. And I'm sharing this with you today because this is something that happened to me relentlessly in a 15-year relationship that I was in, that I did not choose to legally get married to this person. And from the very beginning to the very end, this entire 15 years, it hit really hard probably around year 2, but we were together a little longer than that, right? So that entire time, from the beginning to the end, I had relentless, consistent, and constant comments and projections about how we should be married. Why are you not married yet? You've been together this many years. Where's your ring? You've been together that long and you're not married. This means this. This means that he's doing that. There was a point where somebody told me, no, I don't want you to be an old mom, when I was in my early 20s. I also had a boss that I worked for at some point that would constantly ask me every shift when him and I were going to have kids, you know, me and my person, and tell me that my clock is ticking. So this was not only young women who were projecting this fantasy marriage life onto us. I got this from everybody, including complete strangers and of all ages. Even when we were splitting up, there was an old woman who said, you are splitting up after 15 years? That is absolutely ridiculous. Why would you even break up at this point? Right? It was just non-stop. And this is happening to children every day. This is not only happening to me. I am not the only one who is getting this peer pressure that will not only make you feel like maybe you're doing something wrong, but definitely that you do not fit into this world. Just because I did not take the bait and did not listen to other people's opinion in that way does not mean that it does not take a toll when people are constantly and relentlessly projecting their idea of you to be something different or do something different than what you believe, when they are almost forcing you to go against your intuition so you can fit into their frame. This sense of identity begins in the home, primarily between ages 14 and 21 and age 3 to 4. How many people were projecting this onto him? How many people were telling him that we should be married by now, and all their ideas, and that his clock's ticking? Nobody was saying this to him. This is happening to people and to women every single day. This is happening to children on a lot of other topics that are not only about relationships and love and marriage. Not a single one of those people that were projecting their opinion and their ideas onto me were sleeping in our bed at night. They were not paying our bills. They would not be raising a child. They would not be waking up with the child in the middle of the night. They would not be taking him to the doctor. They would not be doing any of that. They were not thinking about me and what is best for me. They were thinking about themselves and what they would want to see. This is what happens when we do not learn strong identity and acceptance in childhood. Acceptance is saying, I accept you for the way that you are, and I do not want to change that. Acceptance of self. This is saying, I accept the color hair I have, that I'm a boy or a girl, the family I was born into, the financial bracket I was born into. This is saying that I accept the life that I have been given in the path so far before I even get to make anything of it. This is saying I accept myself just to be who I am, which means I'm going to accept you. People that accept themselves are not trying to change others. This is also why and how we experience self-betrayal when we do get into relationships or meet somebody and we expect them to be something different than what they are or than what they are showing us. We think that they might change later in the future. This is how we experience betrayal. This is how we experience disappointment. Every single one of those people were disappointed when me and my relationship were not giving them what they wanted to see out of me, right? So our expectations, and this is due to a lack of acceptance, can cause us a lot more heartbreak than is ever necessary in the first place. A strong sense of identity and acceptance, this begins in the home, and this is also the parents accepting the children for being who they are, for not trying to change them or project a certain path or outline for them, because we all have different hearts. The parent, the mom and the child, the dad and the child, the wife and the husband, every single person has their own heart and their own identity and their own purpose and their own path. It is when two hearts that are strong in identity and that have a strong sense of self come together that they can complete their purpose in truth. One's path is not going to get thrown off or taken away from or completely ran over, because they know who they are and they can accept each other's differences and support one another. Acceptance is how we have individuality and unity. This is how we have strong community and say, I accept our differences, that we believe in different things, that we were maybe raised differently, but we have this in common. This is how we stop hurting people and stop hurting ourselves. This is truly through acceptance, and we cannot accept others fully until we have fully accepted ourselves.